Hello, okay, welcome to an episode of In-Car Series, Season 3, Episode 15. This is the conclusionary episode to the previous episode 14 regarding a trip to Blackhill, which is part of the Sidlaw Hills, in quest of finding out what that object was that I saw from Dundee. So I took another attempt today to get to it, and this is just a conclusionary video as to that. I did promise in the last one that I would show you when I find out. I'll let you know, so therefore I have done that. So this in-car series is a wee bit different because it's going to include a segment of the video that I took up from the Blackhill summit. And just the way to leave Blackhill, I'm going to wait ahead to back home to Dundee. I've got a few things to get on later on, so I'll just make sure I've got everything. Should have done that first. Anyway, I'm just going to head back. I'll get a wee bit of the driving footage as I head back to Dundee. Close to that. So. Right, just get out here. So obviously I was parked responsibly when I done the climb. That wasn't where I was parked. I parked a place where there wasn't any obstructions or anything. But to bear in mind there's a lot of farm traffic that use this road as well. It's the B953 runs from Bell, Beggy to Aberdeen. So right, so yeah, yesterday it was just I drove from Dundee to here and I showed you a little bit of what the hilltop was like, how misty it was. I mean, it's rain's worse now than it was earlier, but on the day yesterday it wasn't so misty at this level. It wasn't until I got further up that I got really misty. It was like, probably couldn't see any further than about 50 to 100 metres. So I just kind of like gave up and came back down. So today I drove up here earlier, took the binoculars, was in the back, then I had another look. I was able to see it clearer. I wasn't able to make out what it was, but I was looking at it from further up the road here. And then I drove round to see if we could tackle this hill using a different route from yesterday. The route that I took yesterday was the one that was more ideal for doing King's Seat, which is that hill just east of Blackhill. The hill west of Blackhill is Dunsinane Hill. Blackhill sits between both King's Seat and Dunsinane Hill. So I decided to tackle the hill from a different angle. So as I say, I came up here earlier, had a look with the binoculars. Couldn't really make out what it was. So got back into the car, had a drive round the hill, round the other side of it and see if there's any other ways I could get to it. I couldn't have done that yesterday because I just couldn't even see the top of the hill that well. And I probably still would have took that route I took yesterday anyway. But it was a lot longer and I thought, well, you know, if I could park a bit closer to it, so I done it. But it was a steeper climb, it was more vertical, it was more a straight line going up the hill rather than going up at an angle. So there was a shorter distance, but it was much steeper on the route I done today to get up to it. It was sort of like more starting off directly below it, just going up to the summit of Blackhill. Whereas yesterday was sort of right between Blackhill and King's Seat, and it was going up at a shallower angle, but it was longer. But the route was more familiar to me, because it was misty and I really needed to go on a route that was familiar with. Because I kind of know the area well, I don't know it that well, but that's why I had to come back, because if I lost marking bearings, you know, you can easily get lost in the mist if you're not careful. Because, you know, I didn't, so I had to keep my bearings in my head, but I'm no expert at it. I don't have any of the maps or anything like that, so I was just using memory and just landmarks, well, small landmarks, because within close proximity, just try to remember where it was so I wouldn't get lost. I was always able to hear the road on my left as it was going up. But I probably wasn't the best solution that time yesterday, but I just thought, well, I thought I'd give it a go. But probably got fairly close to it. Just the hills, the landscape was getting a wee bit changeable, it was changing more, so I would have got lost easier if I went into that. So I decided not to go any further and just go back to the land that I was familiar with walking on. I could tell I was walking how it was sloping and everything. I knew the land just by the feel of it, how I was going up. But when I was getting further on, it was getting more hilly and more variable, and I could have lost my sense of bearing it. I wouldn't have been able to hear the road or feel the wind on that side coming up from that side of the hill, because it had been sheltered and it made it harder to find the directions back. So I didn't go any further, but I was probably quite close to it. I wasn't even planning on coming back today to do that. The first time I came up here earlier today, I just took the binoculars. I didn't take any of my hill walking stuff with us. I was just wanting to get the binoculars to see if I could just get a close look at it with them, find out what is it. You know, was it a tree, was it a mast, and it just didn't look right. So I said, I'm going to have to come back to the house with all this stuff and get back here again and get right up to it. So I done that, you know. I done that. It was worth it because it was a mission complete though. So in this video I'm going to basically just use that whole footage section that I took from the Blackhill, and I'm just going to insert it in. The next clip will be that video, so you're not having to. It's not like the normal tractors. Oh, that's a tight one. Oh, you'll get through. You'll get through that. I can see from here you'll get through. You just got to take it easy. That's what it's like when they drive the bus in the city. Sometimes when you meet another bus and there's parked cars on another road, it's like. But if you can see through the end and it's wide enough, you'll get through. So yeah, I've been doing work on that. I was there when I came up earlier. Just got to watch something's coming round on the other side. So that'll be them loading up now, I think. So it's 6 o'clock. Bloody hell, I'm going to have to get going because I've got to be somewhere. Jeez. Time just flies in, does it? 6 o'clock. Right. Anyway, yeah, what I'll do is I'll put that section of the video into this video. It's not like the normal in-car series, it's slightly different because I don't normally do that. And then you'll see that next. Then after that, you'll get the next bit of this in-car series from the I'm going to stop at this antique bit here. So the video, I haven't even done the continuity or anything bit yet. So it's kind of like a wee bit. I'm practically telling you what's happening now. So you've seen the drive from where I was, you know, at the foot of Blackhill to the antique store, Scottish Antique and Arts Centre. You should be able to see that. And I'm going to show you the footage that I took. So like I promised, I was going to show you. Once I know, I'll let you know. So I'm doing it now. You're going to see what I saw. The mystery. That is for me anyway. And it's a Mandela effect as well. It's a Mandela effect also. Right, so enjoy the next bit, and then once you've seen that bit, you'll get the concluding footage from here down to just down the road a bit, that truck stop place, the Milk Bar, the Horn. It's like a truck stop. A lot of lorry drivers use it. It's quite nice. It's kind of retro. That is a couple of miles down the road. So that'll be the concluding part of the whole to this episode. Right, enjoy the next bit. So like I promised on that last episode of the In-Car series, season 3, episode 14, it was called A Trip to Blackhill. Well, that was to go to Blackhill to find out what that object was that I could see from Dundee, that mystery object. I found it. I haven't been quite to it yet, it's mass. I'm going to get closer to it, but I just wanted to, I did say I'd promised to the viewers that I was going to, when I find out, I'll let you know. So I've embarked on a mission to do that. The last time I made my first attempt to find it, as you know from the episode, from the In-Car series, season 3, episode 14, A Trip to Blackhill. That effort was just foiled because of the mist. Couldn't see any more than about 50 to 100 metres ahead. There was no way, I was quite close to it, but there's no way I could have known because the visibility was just crap. Up here anyway. It wasn't too bad down there, but I was hopeless up here. So again, the next day, today, the visibility is better and I can now see it, and I can even show you the views as well. So I should do that, and then I'll get right up to it and get some photo logs for myself, and I'll get some suitable to share online to show you. So it's very windy up here. Well, it was pretty windy at that point, you might not have heard, but I was just going to say I would share with you the footage, the suitable footage with you online to see this. This is the object in question. I'm going to get closer to that, have a closer look. But this is a view from the top of, near the top of Blackhill, which is part of the Sidlaw range. And it's a lovely view. You can see the River Tay, Dundee, that's where I live, in the distance there. You can even see the rail bridge, Tay rail bridge. Might make up the Tay road bridge as well, just perhaps. North Sea to the east, and Fife, the Fife region, which is the south bank of the River Tay. And turning on towards the north. That's the B953 road, that's heading out to Belbiggy, and that's looking out now north towards the Glens and Cairngorms. So this is it. By the way, that hill there, that's King's Seat. You can see the trig point maybe, and a small cairn at the top. I've done a video on that on my channel way back when I first started on YouTube, probably in the first 8 videos or something. So 4.5 years ago. But this is on the top of Blackhill. It looks as though it's portable, although I'm beginning to think, I believe in the phenomena of the Mandela effect phenomena. I mentioned that in the previous episode of the car series. But anyway, it looks as though it's been here a while, and I would have noticed it. I don't know if it was been, I mean, I'm just looking at the way the wheels are sunken in there. So I don't think that's moved in a hurry. I definitely would have noticed this before. It wasn't until very recently I noticed it. So that's why I'm thinking it could be a Mandela effect. I'm sure I would have noticed this. In fact, I definitely would have noticed this before if it was here for a while. And this looks as though it's been there a while. So in that reality, in the previous reality it wasn't. But in this one, it looks as though it's always been here. That looks like it's been there for ages. So I'm going to put this down as a potential Mandela effect. The fence posts look as though they've been there for a while, certainly a few years. That looks as though it's been there a while. Now I've only noticed this probably a couple of months back, and that's definitely been here longer than a couple of months. It looks as though it's been here a few years anyway. There isn't any track going up to it. It's like maybe a quad bike or a Range Rover or something that would have brought this, or a tractor that would pull this up, because it is on a trailer. But the fence looks as though it's been here a considerable while. So at the same time I'm logging this in from my own records, 24th of September 2024, Mandela effect on the top of Blackhill and Sidlaws regarding this mast arrangement. I wasn't there before, years ago. It looks as though it's been here for years, but so possibly in this reality, in the Mandela effect, it's always been here apparently. Like the Mandela effect's a conscious shift. If you could do your research online, you'll come to your own conclusions regarding the Mandela effect, but that's definitely bizarre. So I find it interesting anyway in its own right, and interested in this kind of equipment. But it's also bizarre that I've never noticed it here before until recently. As far as I'm concerned, it's a Mandela. It's never been there before in the previous, or different reality, a different dimension if you like. So anyway, so I'm quite happy, and happy that I've solved the mystery. I've found it, and it's a Mandela effect as far as I'm concerned, because I've done the King's Seat Hill on a number of occasions. I've seen the Blackhill from Dundee. I only noticed this just a couple of months ago or something. I just finally started getting round to it now. And looking at that, it looks as though it's been there for years. You can see how rusty it is. That looks as though it's not moved. There's not any recent tyre tracks or anything like that. It looks as though it's been there for a long time. I'll research more into it, of course, if I can, but making my first hand observations of it, it certainly looks as though it's been there a considerable time, which is bizarre because I definitely would have noticed that. And I also drive the road as well, so I would have seen it from the road. So I'm actually happy that it is a Mandela effect. I was kind of hoping it would look as though it had been there a considerable time, because if it had been put there recently, then it, because like the mast, there was another one in it. There's a video I done recently about it was a mast near Benvie, just near Dundee, big tall mast. I noticed it. I went up, have a closer look, and it had been put there recently. You could see evidently it has been put there recently. So that wasn't a Mandela effect, but it was still interesting. It was still interesting for me because I'm interested in this sort of stuff anyway. So, but this is definitely looks as though it's been there for a considerable time. Maybe I'm going to look back footage that I've taken from Kind Seat. I've bumped my band over in this direction, and if it's on the footage as well, then that's also confirming it's a Mandela effect, because I would have noticed, and I would have been here sooner than today to investigate, to have a closer look at it. So yeah, I'm quite happy that it is a Mandela. That's another list of Mandela effects, because there's lots of them I've experienced. Personal ones, this is the personal one for me. There's many online. If you type it in, Mandela effect phenomena, there's lots of examples online. Some of which I could relate to, others I wouldn't go either way. But I don't know what's causing it. It's just something that's referred to online as a Mandela effect. This resembles it for me, because I would have noticed this before, definitely would have. And I'm only just noticing it now. There's a lot of instances with that. I've logged it in on lots of other videos. I don't want to make this one too long, but I'm going to get some more photos of it and just going to have a closer inspection of the mould. Maybe just have a look at the wood and just see if there's any evidence of any recent activities on the ground, any tracks on the ground. The wood looks as though it's been there a considerable time. That even looks as though it's rusty as well. Well, it is rusty. It's been there for ages, apparently. It couldn't have just been like rusted somewhere else and just moved it here recently. There isn't any tyre marks that are evidently, or any recent activities. So, and I wouldn't have thought it would have been blown over, and it's just been put up recently. It wouldn't have been blown over for years, and the straps are there to keep it upright. They would have been put there at the time, sure. So it's not like it was blown over and I never noticed it before, and it's just been put back on its wheels and strapped down recently. And I would have still noticed it, because it would have, you know, I would have saw an object anyway. It's not overly big, so even if it had rolled over, I still would have noticed it. I could see it all the way from Dundee, which is about 10 miles or so as the crow flies. And I noticed the sort of point on the hilltop, and I was wanting to know what it was, and now I know. And it's that. So, and it's a Mandela effect. So I'm quite happy that I'm up here. It took a lot of effort to get here. This was second attempt. First attempt was just horrendous with the mist. Probably got to about there and I wouldn't have known. 50 to 100 metres visibility, it was terrible. I don't know why. I thought I'd try it. It's maybe not the best idea. I was just saying I was going to give it a shot. But anyway, on my second attempt, weather's cold, windy and wet-ish, damp, sweating, but it's, visibility is good, so I made it. And I'm happy with that. So there it is. I did promise you I would show you when I know. When I find out, I'll let you know. And well, I'm doing it now. I'm letting you know now what it is. And it's a Mandela effect. I'm interested in that phenomenon. Or certainly what's referred to online as a Mandela effect anyway. So I'm going to have a drink of juice and I'll maybe be back down. So that's this caption in the video done. I'll probably incorporate this whole outdoor bit on the episode of the in-car series. Right, so like I said, the pickup from this, or to conclude this episode, you'll get the footage from the antique store down to the truck diner place, the truck stop. It's just like, well, I nicknamed it that anyway, there's a lot of lorry drivers and trucks. I like it for that. I like seeing the lorries. The food's good, and I'm not going to drive into it. I'm just going to stop next to it and round off this episode. So I hope you you enjoyed what you saw. I was satisfied when I saw it anyway. Now, when I mentioned before about being a Mandela effect, it was definitely not there before. I would have noticed it, and interested in seeing these things anyway. And when I was wanting to know what was on the top of King Seat, because I could see a couple of points on the top of King Seat Hill, I was curious, and I said, right, I'm going to get to it and find out what they are. So I've done it. There's a video on that earlier on the channel anyway. It's a trig point and small cairn. So I would obviously automatically have done the same for Blackhill, because that's right next to King Seat, and I'd be curious to know what that object was that was on the top. You can only very faintly see it. It's very, very faint on the top of the hill, and I would have wanted to know what that was at that time if it were there. It definitely wasn't there before, as far as I'm concerned anyway, because I would have known about it sooner. It wouldn't have took me this long to investigate that. I was already looking at the hilltop next to it, the King Seat, because there was something on the top of it. I wanted to know what it was, and it was a trig point and a small cairn. And I would have obviously been just as curious to know what was on the top of Blackhill, because that's right next to it. And I would have had my binoculars anyway. I would have known it was of interest. I would have been there a lot sooner. And I went up King Seat 12 years ago. No, 13 years. Coming up for 13 years ago. Right? So I've been there since on occasions. I've driven the road on occasions as well since then. And I've looked out my window. I've looked out the house window in Dundee. I've walked around the area in Dundee's where I could see the hills from. And I would have spotted that sooner. It wasn't only until a couple of months ago, this year anyway, a few months ago anyway, too, and I got around to it now. I was driving back there, a couple of weeks back, nice lovely sunset. I said, right, we're going to make a mission point to actually go to it. So I would have definitely noticed it before now. So it looks as though it's been there for a long time. So that's why I call it a Mandela effect. There's quite a few lorries in there, by the way. I'm just going to... I don't think I can... Oh shit, I'm going to have to go in now, because I can't stop on this road because it's a busy road. So I'm going to just... I'm not buying anything out of here as much as I... Actually, you know what? I've got time. I've got to be there for... that's just giving me a thought. I was thinking going to Chippy, but instead, not in here. I'm going to get something to eat out here before I go to that meeting. Oh, right. That's just worked out quite well. I never even planned on that. Never even planned on doing that. I think I could probably get something to eat in that time. Didn't even plan it. It just happened. Honestly. It was just a good timing, that. So they're usually quite quick. I'm not going to film around here because it's in use. It's a small services and there's people in there. I'm not going to film all that for YouTube. It's a nice place. It's called the Horseshoe, and you probably would have saw it on the... It's sort of retro inside, retro-like. It's got like lots of trucks, a theme, lorries and truck registrations, American trucks, lots of pictures. It's 6:10, got to be there for 7:30. Yeah, I think I'm waiting to Chippy anyway. We'll probably get a meal out of here. It kind of occurred to me to do that. I didn't plan on it. It just occurred to me here. I thought it's not that. Get the tea here. I've got a meeting. I've got somewhere to be soon. So anyway, enough of that. Right. So I hope you enjoyed the video. The Mandela effect, like I said, if you're interested in the Mandela effect phenomena, do your own searching or researching on whatever means, online or whatever. Come to your own conclusion. Now, what I don't know what's actually happening, or what it's called, or if that's what it is or what, I don't know. What I do know is what I have experienced. What I experience resembles what's referred to online as the Mandela effect. This mission accomplished, if you like. This object is a Mandela effect, or resembles a Mandela effect as far as I'm concerned, because I definitely would have noticed it before. No, definitely would have. No doubt about it. I was out on the hill, King Seat, 13 years ago to find out what was on the top of it, and this is before I came across the Mandela effect phenomenon name, but I was curious to know what was on the top, and I went up, and I've been there since for it. I've done a video actually just not long after I started doing YouTube, which was April 2020, 4.5 years ago. It was within probably the first 10 videos I'd done or something. It was an article like video, it's called Kind Seat, and I'm going to look back on that. I'll be curious to see if I can see that mast that I saw earlier on Blackhill. I hope I do, because that would then definitely confirm that it was there all these years ago, and it would also confirm how strange it would be that I wouldn't go and investigate it then, because I can assure you if I'd known about it then I would have been there sooner. I'd have been there by now to go and have a closer look at it. So it's definitely a Mandela effect as far as I'm concerned. Right, I've got to get in there, get orders, get something to eat, and then get going. Hope you enjoyed the video, see what else I put on my channel, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.